Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyadvaradavakradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasriye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Geeta Mrutaduhe Namaha. Jnana Karma Sanyasa Yoga. Now Bhagavan described a little bit about karma, what work is and what is the context of work, etc., right? And yajnam and how it is associated, those kind of things. Now, how to do the yajnam, how to do the karma? You know, Bhagavan says, offer everything to me, etc., right? And that he is going to talk about in more detail, right? And it is called Jnana Karma Sanyasa Yoga. That means embracing divinity through wisdom and sacrifice in action. In action, very important. Through action as a pathway to reach the Lord. How do I do that? If action is a branch of a tree, how do I hold on to the branch and climb, right, to the top, which is really the roots, okay? So, Jnana Karma Sanyasa Yoga. The very first slokam we'll cover today, and after that we'll close for the day, because it's such an important slokam. Bhagavan said, I taught this imperishable practice to the sun. The sun taught to Manu, and Manu to Ikshvaku. Arjuna, the terror of foes, this practice was passed on through generations. It was learned by the Rajarishis also. Then, adherence to this practice declined with the passage of time. Since you are my friend and devotee also, this ancient practice was explained to you today by me. Bhagavan says in Slokams 1 to 3, this is the overall view. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktvan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manuhu Ikshvakave Abravit. Going again, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktvan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manuhu Ikshvakave Abravit. The words in Padangal are Imam Vivasvan, okay, Vivasvate Yogam Proktvan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manuhu Ikshvakave Abravite. The Karma Sanyasa Yoga. Karma Sanyasa Jnanam. Okay? That means karma through action, through our thoughts, words and speech and actions. Sanyasa Jnanam is what we're talking about. Okay? Nyasam means, those of you who have learned Carnatic music will appreciate there is a swaram called Nyasa Swaram in various ragams. Nyasa means to stay long at a place. Okay? Long enough. Like you stay long. It's a lengthy stay. You stay there. That's the meaning of Nyasam. Sannyasa means to stay long with Bhagavan. To stay with Bhagavan. Right? To be established there. That jnanam, that wisdom, with that wisdom, you do your action, karma. And then becomes that practice you do, doing like that, with that wisdom, you do your action. That practice is called yoga. That through that practice, the effort to embrace the indweller, that is yoga. And finally, reaching that indweller and becoming one with them, that is also yoga. Okay? Jnana Karma Sanyasa Yoga. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan said, Aham, I, Vivasvate. to Vivaswan. Now, who is Vivaswan? Vivaswan is another name for Surya, for sun. Okay? So, Vivaswan, imam, Vivasvate yogam proktvan aham avyam. Imam this, avyayam, indestructible, yogam, the practice, the pathway, right? Proktavan, I taught. Aham proktavan, I taught. Vivasvate imam avyayam yogam. Okay. Now after that, Vivaswan, that was Suryan, Manave to Manu praha, he taught him. From Vivaswan it came to Manu. Okay. Then Manu, once he had learned this, that teaching, Ikshvakave, to Ikshvaku abravite, he taught, he spoke about this to Ikshvaku. That is the meaning of this slokam. So Vivaswan is Suryan. Brahma's Manasika Putra is Marichi. Marichi's son is Suryan. We think generally Surya as one globe, one sphere that is burning, and helium and hydrogen and all these things. We are thinking of fusion and all that, right? That's the way science teaches us. So we see the light from the sun. We survive and live because of the light and the heat from the sun. There are so many things scientifically we know that the sun rays are very helpful, etc., to grow plants, food and all that thing, right? But if we sit back for a second and look at it from a spiritual angle, from a divine perspective, the sphere that we call as a sun that is undergoing fusion is really not a sphere. It's actually a being. Everything, sarvam sajivam. Bhagavan says that everything has got jivan in it. It's got chit. Bhagavan's aspect is there. So it is just not a body that is burning. What it is, it's a jiva that is burning, and in that process, it is giving us light and heat for our sacrifice, for our sustenance. And this particular aspect, let me touch on that a little bit more tomorrow. It's a very important putting into practice of Bhagavan's teaching that the sun is illustrating and exemplifying. But coming back to the slokam, this Marichi's putran is Surya, Vivaswan. Now, Vivaswan, Surya's putran is Manu. So, Vaivasvata Manu Vantre. That's why we say when you go to do Sankalpam in temples before you do your Archana, the priest will say this. You definitely have heard this phrase, Vaivasvata Manu Vantre. Now, that Vivaswan's putran is Vaivasvata Manu. That Manu is in charge of this particular period in time. He is carrying out the duties. Okay, that's an administrative duties. Now that's another subject. Hopefully one day we'll cover that. Now, so this Suryan taught this to his son Manu, and that Manu taught this teaching to Ikshvaku. Now, Ikshvaku was the early king, as you recall in Ikshvaku Kulam, right? So he taught him to him. This is what Bhagavan says in the very first slokam. Slokam number 2. Arjuna, the terror of faith, this practice was passed on through generations. It was learned by the Raja Rishis also. Then, adherence to this practice declined with the passage of time. Evam parampara praptam imam Rajarishyoho viduhu sa kaleneha Mahata yogaha nashtaha parantapa. Evam parampara praptam imam Rajarishyoho viduhu sa kaleneha mahata yogaha nashtaha parantapa. Evam thus, parampara praptam, through lineage after lineage, through generation after generation, imam, this practice, this knowledge, this teaching, Rajarishyaha, even the Raja Rishis, Viduhu, they came to know, they knew. Parantapa, the one who is a terror among enemies, Iha, in this world, okay, now I'm sorry, I didn't give you the words here, okay? Evam parampara praptam imam Rajarishyoho viduhu sa kalena iha mahata yogaha nashtaha parantapa. Evam, thus, parampara praptam, the knowledge that was passed from generation to generation, imam rajarishyaha, this knowledge, even the rajarishis, viduhu, they knew, the knowledge was with them, they came to know. Then parantapa, which means one who is a terror among enemies, iha, in this world, sa yogaha, that practice, that knowledge, mahata kalena, through the passage of time, nashtaha, declined. Okay? Why did it decline? Because lack of practice. Okay, people left the practice immediately, that kind of declines. That becomes unknown, right? Something that becomes dusty kind of a thing, due to lack of usage. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarishyo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogaha nashta parantapa. Slokam number 3. Since you are my friend and devotee also, this ancient practice was explained to you today by me. Sa evayam maya tebhya yogaha proktaha puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hyetaduttamam. Sa evayam maya tebhya yogaha proktaha puratanaha bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hyetad uttamam. The words are sa, saha, eva, ayam, maya, te, adhya, yogaha, proktaha, puratanaha, bhaktaha asi, me saka cha iti, rahasyam, hi, yetat uttamam. Me, to me, bhaktaha saka cha, devotee and friend, asi, you are. Iti, therefore, thus, saha puratanaha, that ancient, yoga eva ayam, that practice, this practice, the ancient the practice that thus described, adhya, today, okay, now, adhya, maya, by me, te, to you, proktaha, told, taught, said, okay, he means the essence certainty, right, as we spoke about. Sa eva ayam maya te adhya yogaha proktaha puratanaha bhaktosi me sakacha iti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. Uttamam rahasyam, okay. Rahasyam means not secret. Please understand that. Rahasyam is something that is unknown, basically, okay. Nothing secretive about it, but it is not known because you have not taken effort to know it. That's why it became rahasyam. Sa evayam maya tebhya yogaha prokta puratanaha bhaktosi be saka cheti rahasyam pyetat uttamam. Now the question comes, how did you teach this to the sun god? You know, Arjuna is asking, but Krishna, your birth is recent, but the sun is ancient. When this is so, how do you want me to understand your statement that you taught the sun in the beginning? That is Slokam number 4. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katham etat vijaniyam tvam adav proktavan iti. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katham etat vijaniyam tvam adav proktavan iti. Arjuna said, Arjuna uvacha bhavataha, your janma, birth, aparam, later. Okay, aparam means later, it's now. Vivasvataha, the sun's janma, vivasvataha janma, the sun's birth, param, it's earlier. It's way earlier. Therefore, tvam, you, adhav, in the beginning, proktavan iti, you taught him thus, yetat, this statement you made, katam, how, vijaniyam, I can understand. How I can understand is what he is asking. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvatah katam etat vijaniyam tvam adau proktavan iti. Then Bhagavan replies, Arjuna, the terror of force, both you and I have had many births that have gone by. I know them all, but you don't. Slokam number 5. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava cha Arjuna tani aham veda sarvani na tvam veta parantapa. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava cha Arjuna tani aham veda sarvani na tvam veta parantapa. Parantapa. The words are Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava cha Arjuna tani aham veda sarvani na tvam veta parantapa. Parantapa, one who actually terrorizes the enemies, one who actually burns them, like a fire burns things, and that kind of a force and power Arjuna has got. Arjuna, Parantapa, he addresses him, me to me, tava cha, and you, bahuni, many, janmani, births, vyatitani, have come and gone by. Tani sarvani aham, I, tani sarvani, all of them, veda, know. I know all of them. Tvam, you, na veta, you don't know. You don't. That's the next slokam. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava artava char Arjuna tanyaham veda sarvani na tvam veta parantapa. Number 6. Then Bhagavan describes, the avataram and all that. He says, even though I am without birth, changeless, and the Lord of all beings, I enable and control nature through my deluding power and manifest myself in it through the deluding power. What we call as Maya, okay? That is what he says. So, I enable and control nature through my deluding power and manifest myself in it through the deluding power. Ajopi sannavyayatma, ajopi san avyayatma, bhutanam iswaropi san, prakritim swam adhisthaya, sambhavami atma mayaya. Ajopi san avyayatma, bhutanam iswaropi san, prakritim swam adhisthaya, sambhavami atma mayaya. The words are ajaha, api, san, avyaya atma, bhutanam iswaraha, api san, prakritim swam adhisthaya, sambhavami atma mayaya. Ajaha api san, without birth, even though I am without birth. Avyayatma, even though I am changeless. Bhutanam Isvaraha api sanne, for all the manifested beings, the Lord of all the manifested beings, all the beings, even though I am without birth, even though I am changeless, even though I am the Lord of all the things that is manifested, Swam, my, Prakritim is the nature, Adhisthaya, controlling it, Atmamayaya, with my deluding power, Sambhavami, I appear. Ajopi sannavyayatma, bhutanam iswaropi sanne, prakritim swam adhisthaya, sambhavami Atmamayaya. We will do one more slokam, slokam number 7. Bhagavan says, okay, what does it mean when you come? He says, Bharata, Arjuna, I manifest myself whenever adherence to the practice of selfless sacrifice in thought, word and action declines, and whenever the evil of selfishness is on the rise. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Bharata, the person who's come in the lineage of Bharata, Arjuna, yada yada, whenever, dharmasya, to dharmam. What is dharmam? For dharmam is thought, word and action in consonance with one's conscience, the indweller doing that, right? That is dharmam. When that dharmam, the practice of doing that, glanihi, when it becomes weak, when it declines, not only that the righteous practice is decreasing, but the non-righteous, harmful practice, adharmasya, adharmam, abhyuttanam, that is growing. Okay? When both take place, at that time, bhavati, when that happens, tada, then, aham, I, atmanam, myself, srijami, I manifest. Okay? I manifest. The avataram takes place. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Now, next slokam is a very famous slokam. We say that at the end of Vishnu Sahasranamam. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha tushkratham dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. That is the next slokam, and that we will take up the next class. Then let us say the closing prayers for today. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.